In the first part of the UnFranchise Manifesto, we discussed how and why Market America and the UnFranchise were created. And we discussed the genesis of the Market America UnFranchise business opportunity and how it's the answer and solution to the industry's problems. In fact, we set out to change an industry, but we ended up creating a new industry. So the evolution of a hybrid model is very important to understand. And we discuss what differentiates it from other opportunities and gives it the competitive edge. We discussed in depth the original genesis of my idea and the experiences that surrounded it that led to Market America and why it was started and what it was founded upon. And I think the movie example and story illustrates the logic behind it and why it was an idea whose time had come. And it allowed us to do what we call one-to-one marketing, where we were building a database of what customers wanted to buy and referrals and recommendations, and that led to a way of tracking it. So we were able to match products to people and people to products. And we know that people hate to be sold, but they love to buy. So we were finding out what they wanted and providing it for them. So out of that experience came a mall without walls, if you will, where we identified 10 major multi-billion-dollar markets of products that were market-driven that people wanted. And you could have a marketing experience or a store in that mall without walls, and whatever area you were good at, that you were interested in, that you were connected in, and make huge retail profits. But at the same time, you could identify people that had other interests in a different store or multi-billion-dollar market. And behind that, we had the Market America University to provide the training and the support in each store. And you would get credit for the business that somebody else was doing in that mall without walls without having to do it yourself. So you could have many people that had many different stores that were all working in cooperation and collaboration, but everybody shops. So when they came into this mall without walls, we had a shopping experience with all of the major brands so people could get anything that they wanted, and you would be able to get a credit for that and have a residual income. A revolutionary idea that had never been done before. And if a new product line or market emerged, that could be included in the mall without walls. So what emerged from this was a revolutionary new tracking system that tracked all customers to each UnFranchise owner's business development centers and then connected other UnFranchise owners that may be in a different market or a different product area in the mall without walls to each other in two vertical lines, paying the most money possible on the least possible production, the smallest multiplier. Now, this was revolutionary. It had never been done before. And of course, it addressed many of the problems that other business models had. It was a vertical model, and it maximized every UnFranchise owner's ability to derive a residual income on the least business volume with the smallest multiplier and the highest profitability. It was revolutionary new thinking. It had never been done before. But we know that the mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open. And the only exercise that some people get is jumping to conclusions. So what happens sometimes is people have preconceived notions and they jump to conclusions and think that this is like something else, which it is not. And because it is new thinking, you have to think in a new way. You have to understand what makes this work and why it's different. You don't want to be crippled by obsolete thinking. You see, this is a new model, a new way of thinking, a new technology, a new system. And preconceived notions sometimes causes people to think in an obsolete way. For instance, a typewriter is obsolete, and it definitely is not like an iPod or a computer. There's a world of difference between the two. Okay? An 8-track tape system plays music, and so does an iPod, but they're not the same. Streaming is even more advanced. You certainly wouldn't want to go to an old paper map and have to unfold it in your car when you have the ability to use GPS tracking systems that is a talking map. And who goes to the library anymore to research a subject when you have Google? So when we talk about the binomial system and the unfranchised system, we're talking about that type of differential. So you have to think in a new way, and you have to understand why it's different and experience it if you want to reap the benefits. And communicating this to other people is very important, because people do get stuck on preconceived ideas, and they do jump to conclusions, and it's our job to put them down the right path so that they see the light, so that they get it. And that's what we're going to be discussing here. So it begins with, what is Market America?